right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A local filmmaking legend, the East St. Louis native honored at the International Film Festival.
We started off very cold this morning with temperatures well below freezing in many areas, but can we expect this as we head into the Thanksgiving week? The ups and downs that we're expecting, and we'll see temps like this and even colder within the next week.
But first, an international conflict making waves in St. Louis.
Praying for Israel and supporting them as this is their land.
We need Palestine to be free. Palestine is not free. And what's happening right now is a genocide.
The rallies that took place in St. Charles and Clayton. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. There are reports tonight that negotiators are nearing a deal for the release of dozens of hostages held by Hamas. No agreement in place yet. U.S. officials said today we're closer than we've ever been. Hamas abducted close to 240 people, including some Americans, on October 7th. Israel claims that a captive soldier was executed this weekend. The war still rages on in the region, and the United Nations Secretary General is calling for a ceasefire now. Within the span of 24 hours, 2 schools run by the UN were hit by blasts, but the UN could not confirm what caused the incidents and who was responsible. As this unfolds overseas, activists here in Missouri continue to rally both for Israel and Palestine. The latest set of rallies happening today in St. Charles and Clayton. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski brings us the efforts from both sides calling for peace.
Bring them home! Bring them home!
On Sunday, hundreds marched in St. Charles in solidarity with Israel as the war with Hamas continues.
Well, I'm a Christian, and I believe that we should be standing with Israel in all aspects and praying for Israel and supporting them as this is their land and this is God's land, the same God that I serve.
Their main mission, to call for hostages to be released. According to NBC reports, 236 people are still being held hostage in Gaza.
I'm here to support Israel, to support the truth, and to bring them home. We want the hostages back, safe and sound, and to bring peace, please God.
In Clayton, hundreds more gathered in Shaw Park to support Palestine.
Our imprisonment, the unjust occupation of our land.
Protesters are calling on elected officials in the U.S. to use funds to help those under attack on the Gaza Strip.
We are here as we are entering the 6th week of war to protest Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip, the genocide that they are currently imposing upon the Palestinian people within the Gaza Strip and within the occupied West Bank.
And they say they'll continue their efforts here as long as it takes.
It blows my mind that this is even allowed to happen. So we are not resting until Gaza and the West Bank are free.
They're demanding a ceasefire as the death toll in the war surpasses 13,000 people.
We will not stop until we get a ceasefire, and we are going to get a ceasefire.
Reporting in St. Louis County, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
According to the World Health Organization, Al-Shifa, which was once Gaza's main hospital, is no longer functioning as a medical facility and is now a death zone. Israel says Hamas has been using tunnels underneath the hospital. Former First Lady and humanitarian Rosalynn Carter passed away today. She entered hospice care on Friday shortly after being diagnosed with dementia. The Carter Center says she died peacefully with her family by her side. The former First Lady was her husband Jimmy Carter's partner, friend, and advisor, both in and out of the White House. She regularly advocated for mental health care, and after leaving the White House in 1981, continued to do humanitarian work for the Carter Center and Habitat for Humanity. She was 96 years old. It's been 5 months since an old church turned skate park, Skate Laborious, went up in flames. But now its founders are looking to the future. Today, they invited community members to engage in a public brainstorming session at Create to help outline their next steps. Skate Laborious co-founder Brian Bedwell says the team has been working hard to rebuild this safe haven in North St. Louis.
Cleaning up and, just asking for help, being out in the community, trying to find out what everybody's looking for to see here. We're not giving up. We're here. We're not leaving this area. We want to keep this thing moving forward, and just bear with us and stick with us, and we'll be there.
According to the architecture firm V3 Studios, much of the masonry is still intact and able to be reused. A multi-vehicle crash in St. Louis's Shaw neighborhood sent one person to the hospital today. It happened on South Grand near Magnolia. Northbound lanes of South Grand were closed for a while earlier today. Calls for the crash came in around 7:30 a.m. Our crews at the scene said there were at least 5 vehicles involved. One of them overturned. An occupant of that overturned car was taken to the hospital. We do not yet know the extent of injuries or what caused the crash. We started off very chilly today, but things got a little milder as the day went on. Meteorologist Gary Frank is here with our weather first forecast.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good. This is the warmest day we're going to see for a while, so we need to enjoy it as we head into the holiday week. A lot of people have the whole week off or getting ready to travel, and we're going to be in pretty good shape. We are dealing with some rain, which is the first Sunday we've talked about that in a while. Right now, as you look at the airport, we're going to be a busy place this week, but it's just regular rain. On the other side of the state, it is actively falling. Most of this rain is reaching the surface and hitting a dry layer of air. It will take some time to overcome, but that's what we're going to be doing over the next several hours. As we zoom in, there are a few spots that are getting a few light showers. They've worked their way to Sullivan. Keep in mind, we saw you at 5 o'clock. They were in Rolla. They're not moving too quick. They're not really impacting us, but it's something that we'll note overnight. Notice our temperatures, though. They're in the mid-50s. They're staying pretty mild. Even in the Metro East, we're in the low 40s. That's because we don't have as much cloud cover. That moisture is going to start to increase. We're not going to drop a whole lot from where we are right now as the rain continues to begin. And the weekend, we finally have some rain. That's very important. It's a pretty nice holiday, but it's getting much colder. We'll detail how much rain is going to impact us over the next 36 hours and how cold it gets as we head to the holiday.
All right, Gary, thanks. A major milestone for an East St. Louis native, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from the St. Louis International Film Festival. 5 on Your Side's Andy Kroll met with Reginald Hudlin, who credits his Missouri upbringing for being a better storyteller in Hollywood. Annie?
Well, having a film career spanning more than 3 decades, Reginald Hudlin said he surprisingly never attended the St. Louis International Film Festival before this year. But coming home to St. Louis was made just a little bit more memorable with an accomplishment to sit beside his Oscar and Emmy nominations.
When you get a Lifetime Achievement Award, it feels like that's an acknowledgement of body of work. Like, you know what? You keep doing things that are not embarrassing, they don't suck, and in fact, we like them.
It's quite the body of work for Reginald Hudlin, the East St. Louis native. Whether that's one of his first hits, House Party, in 1990, or his latest, to-be-released film, Candy Cane Lane on Amazon with comedic icon Eddie Murphy. Not to mention the football drama Safety on Disney+, and another classic, Boomerang, starring Murphy again, and Halle Berry.
He has reached across and done documentaries. He's actually done a series with Oprah about African-American males and their role that they play as both fathers and filmmakers and actors. That has been incredible. He's directed awards shows, and he's also done animated works, not only on the big screen, but through comic books. And so the way that he's reaching the youth and getting them sort of engaged in entertainment first by, paper book and then on the screen, it's incredible.
Hudlin says being from the Midwest helped him get his name in lights. Being around hardworking people was crucial. His advice for aspiring St. Louis filmmakers?
You can film your own movie and cut it together. You have all this stuff in your pocket. We didn't have that when I was a kid. We didn't have pockets when we were kids. So, you've got all this stuff right in your pocket.
Reggie's next movie, Candy Cane Lane, comes out on December 1st, streaming on Amazon Prime. I've already seen a sneak peek of the film starring comedians Eddie Murphy and Angela Johnson. It's a feel-good holiday film that actually plays on the competitive nature similar to what Reggie had with his older brother that got him interested in movies in the first place. Mike?
A magical connection between a boy and a horse.
Every time we're at the farm, he just perks up and stuff, and he loves it.
The remarkable journey of Cody's Wish.
Finally, it's a Sunday, and we're talking about rain on the way to help alleviate our drought. When this mess of rain arrives and how long into the holiday week it's going to impact us.
Tonight on Sports Plus, we're spotlighting 2 local soccer teams making history in the NCAA tournament and looking back on a thrilling senior night for your 9-win Missouri Tigers. We will also hear from the men of the hour at last night's Musial Awards, Adam Wainwright and Bill Bradley, who are as humble as ever.
I just don't know if I deserve it, to be
put in the same conversation as Stam Usual for anything is cool, but to be receiving the Usual award is an extra special honor for me.
And from the Blues to the Billikens, just about every local team you can think of was in action today, with one particularly troubling loss we have to talk about on the hardwood. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.